with what we're going to introduce next, and that's the witness list, the WIT list. That witness list is now 752 people. Some of them are direct, some are POCs to them, points of contact. And it's growing pretty much every week. We're making a call today for more courageous people like our military witnesses here to come forward. But here's what somebody wrote to me. I don't think I'll be able to give y'all what you need in coming to DC. I'm a fully disabled vet, and the whole issue of Black Ops Division ability to act beyond any law, I just don't feel safe. I suffer too much as it is, etc. You can read it. Why am I sharing that? Because the 5 that are here are part of the 60, 70 we invited who are in fear of their life. And they're in fear of their pensions being taken away. So the people who are keeping this secret are thugs that are breaking every imaginable law in the United States, and they absolutely have to be put under control. So we'll just let this roll for a minute. You'll see that this witness list, we have the contact information blacked out. These names are the ones who have come forward, and we already have their testimony. All these that are named. It's about 100. It's a massive body of evidence. You can see these. We have published them. I encourage you to read. However, at about page 100, the rest are black, except the notes of what they're going to testify to. Now this file, in its entirety, this is just an Excel spreadsheet. The actual backup files with all the testimonies and all the correspondence and what these whistleblowers have told us are all in the hands of the U.S. government as of Tuesday, this past Tuesday. They have all this. Now, why is that important? Because the news media, in reporting on the recent whistleblower, said, well, this young guy didn't have any direct information from being in these facilities. Every single one of these 752 people are not people who tried to look into it but didn't get in. They were in, or they were accidentally in, or they came across it. Every one of them. There's none of them that are secondhand. Not one. And this is a very important distinction. And I think that the media and the Congress and the Pentagon need to understand this is 30 years of our work. Look, we've spent millions of dollars doing this. We're giving it for free. We just say, please, dear God, get to the bottom of it, fix it. Now, we're running out of time to fix this problem. I'll tell you, absolutely we are. And you'll hear that tomorrow, why we're out of time. Tick-tock, things don't stand still. 80 years into this charade, time's up. And we need to let it be known that these corporations and operations that are being run illegally, you are out of time also. And we will take all actions to correct that. We will. And when you look at this list, I'm going to go through a few of them just to give you a flavor of what we've gotten from some of these additional 600 and some witnesses that do not want to be named. Now, one thing I get criticized for this, well, you'll share something, but where is that person? And when I talk to the media, they're all cynical and skeptical, which is fine. That's what the media is supposed to be. But I go, no, but wait, we already have 80 of them on the record. Have you looked at that? Oh, no. See, here's the problem. Even when you put everything on a silver platter, they'll say, well, where there's no evidence. Where are the people who actually handled the craft and the bodies? We have them. They've already come out. But it's really, we're an unfunded non-governmental entity. We cannot be expected to do the entire job of the United States government with their trillions of dollars. We have no staff. All of this has happened through volunteers. So at a certain point, we, the people, have to write to our representatives, your 2 senators, your House of Representative member, and the president, and say, this has been handed to you. I have the return receipt proof from the FedEx that it was received. Now, you need to go. It's time to go. You need to pursue this in the interest of the people. This goes on and on and on. We're only at 400 and some. Each of these little comments on the right are little quick synopses of what they were going to say. If you were to sit and read all 100 pages of this witness list, you would fall out of your chair. One of the things I want to go back to is this history of secrecy. So let's get to this slide, next one. This is when everything went sideways. So just for those of you wanting to know the history of this, how do we go from during Truman and early Eisenhower, properly overseen but highly classified R&D, to the situation we're in now with rogue operations? There's a progression. You need to understand how it happened, when it happened, most importantly, why it happened. But here, I always tell people, please don't take my word for anything. I'm a retired doctor. I have never had a clearance. I've never been in the U.S. government. I've never got an Indian head nickel from a contractor or the government, although I paid a few $1 million in taxes. They can just say thank you at this point. Those of us who actually pay taxes. But I will say that you look at this gentleman, he's one of the first, there was a short interim CIA director when it was founded in 47 after Roswell. This gentleman, Admiral Roscoe Hillenkoetter, was a very early one for about 3 years. And look at what he said. It's time for the truth to come out. This was in 1961 in a letter to the New York Times that Eisenhower said, beware of the military industrial complex, right? And he said that though through official secrecy and ridicule, many citizens are led to believe the unknown of flyings are nonsense. He says, I urge immediate congressional action. Now remember, this was 62 years ago. I urge immediate congressional action to reduce the dangers from secrecy about UFOs. He didn't say the UFOs were dangerous. That's the threat narrative that's all in the media now and the charlatans and the whole, UAP community. In reality, he was saying the secrecy is a threat to the national security. So in my first meetings with these guys in DC 16 months ago, I said, you've been gaslit. Here's the problem. Go get a mirror and look at it. It's humans. And the secrecy around this is an existential threat to the constitutional government of the United States of America and every other country in the world that I know of that I've had contacts. And then we have this. How long has this been noted to be of such high secrecy? Look at this from 1950. A top secret memo from the Canadian government. And you'll see this is top secret. It was declassified accidentally, I've learned, from the Canadian government with a tranche of other documents back, I think, in the Carter years. And in it, next, he describes the matter is the most highly classified subject in the United States government, rating higher than the H-bomb. This is an official document, not controversial. Flying saucers exist, period. Their modus operandi, meaning their technology, how they fly, how they move, is unknown, but a concentrated effort is being made by a small group headed by Dr. Vannevar Bush. Dr. Vannevar Bush headed up the Manhattan Project, just so you know. The entire matter is considered by the United States authorities to be of tremendous significance. But look at A, of higher secrecy than the development of the hydrogen bomb. We didn't detonate the first hydrogen bomb until 1952. This is 1950. So that gives you an idea of the extreme secrecy stood up around this between 1945 and this period. And that's where things began to go sideways. And so all kinds of things began to happen. You are familiar with this document? It's the death warrant for Marilyn Monroe. And I got this from a man whose name I have, and he's in our witness list, from the National Security Agency vault. It's a CIA document from 1962, dated a day or two before they found her dead. And the wiretap summary basically goes into the fact that she was going to hold a press conference like this, except it'd be Marilyn Monroe, about her having had this relationship with with Jack Kennedy, the president, and what he had told her about the, quote, objects from outer space from New Mexico from the 40s. Clear reference to what happened in the 40s. This document has been looked at by the chief document authenticator who was right-hand to General Odom at the National Security Agency. Now, one of these things, these are just sort of the highlights of some of these documents we got after I briefed the director of the CIA. The debunking aim would result in reduction in public interest in flying saucers, which today evokes a strong psychological reaction. This education could be accomplished by mass media, such as television, motion pictures, and popular articles. This is this Robertson panel trying to shut down public interest in this through Psychological Warfare and Counterintelligence in 1953. This document is many, many pages long. We have it, it's in the archive. We have tens of thousands of pages of government documents like this in the Disclosure Project Intelligence Archive. Someday I'd like to have all of it up on the internet. If somebody knows how to build an internet site and create a database for 8 terabytes of content, give me a jingle. Here we have a document where it basically is talking about they didn't want, you can read this on your own, he was an asset of the CIA and admits it here, but we can't let the public know that he is. So this was supposed to be an independent academic study. It was tainted and it was a dog and pony show, and we can prove it. We have the documents to prove it. Condon, in his investigation, will not be identified as work accomplished by the CIA. So in other words, it's work accomplished by the CIA, but we won't identify it as such. This is clear corruption by the CIA on an internal investigation where they are banned from doing things like this in the United States. They're only to be foreign operations. And they're corrupting this study presented to the public as an academic impartial study. And here's the proof that it was corrupted from the get-go. This is an official CIA document, officially released by the CIA that we got. Here's a man, great man, one of our Disclosure Project witnesses, Dr. Robert Wood. He was the McDonnell Douglas aerospace engineer, Phantom Works, it's now part of Boeing. And when he stated this, I wrote a letter to Condon suggesting that it might be helpful if we were to establish this group in 2 parts, and believers, disbelievers, and stuff. Basically what happened, he came in with a suitcase full of evidence because he had been sent by old man McDonnell to investigate the UFOs way back, the McDonnell Douglas founder. And Condon, when he realized he had hard evidence and cases, went to James McDonnell. Look at this. So Condon was so furious, he went to the head of McDonnell Douglas to get him fired. He threw him off the committee. So in other words, our minds are made up. Someone who had evidence, dispositive proof, was thrown off the committee. This is what's happened over and over and over again with all of these US government and academic reports.
Kiitos paljon videon katsomisesta ja kiitos kaikille, jotka on tukeneet kanavaa. Kanavaa pystyy tosiaan sponssaamaan videolla sitten lisätietoja, jos haluaa lähettää rahaa tai liittyä vaikka Suomen Galaktisen liiton jäseneksi. Tuolla on muuten sitten alennuskoodi myös teille kaikille, joita kiinnostaa toi Suomen Galaktisen liiton jäsenyys, -30% kaikista jäsenyyksistä. Ottakaa koodi käyttöön ja kaikkea hyvää ja nähdään tulevilla videoilla. Se on morjes.